guys, welcome to Raising Vibrations with myself, Simon. Today I'm going to be continuing with my the Neptune in the Houses series, or Neptune through the Houses, and just basically sharing with you some very core principles of the nature of how this can manifest through the house, okay? And obviously giving you a little bit of insight into the nature of how this planetary archetype works within our consciousness as well. So saying that, what I highly recommend before you go ahead and watch this video, if this is the first time that you've done this, is check out the introduction video, okay? And what the introduction video will do is give you a basic awareness and understanding of the nature of what Neptune represents in the birth chart. And through that experience, you link it to the fourth house and its symbols, and then you can understand the nature of what Neptune is actually trying to symbolize through that house placement, okay? So I hope that makes sense. And then, of course, there is other playlists as well that I've created, which is to learn astrology, and that's a 12, it's like through the whole signs, and then also Pluto placement as well. So I highly recommend checking those out as well, because obviously they give you more perspective into the nature of the soul as well, especially when you're looking at your own birth chart, okay? And for self-empowerment purposes, really. Okay, guys, so what we're looking at here, just to recap in terms of Neptune in the fourth, or Neptune archetype in itself, we're looking at the nature of where the soul ultimately projects a meaning into something that is of innocence and purity, and of love and of great acceptance, okay? In other words, I can give something to you, but it's okay, I don't want anything in return. This is my gift to you, as it were. And at the same time, it also creates and shows us where we create illusions in our lives in which we are preferring to see the beautiful creation in things versus the reality of the situation. Okay? And then when we're looking at the fourth house, we're looking at the archetype of Cancer. Okay? And so Cancer simply represents the nature of how the soul integrates where it belongs within its creation. In other words, where do I belong? How do I exist in this reality? And where is my home? And the womb is symbolized by the fourth house in itself because it reflects that natural security that exists within. Okay, as well. So when we have Neptune in the fourth house, we're looking at souls here that are coming through and are projecting the ultimate meaning into the nature of home, the universe, their creation, their inner sense of self. And that there is an inherent beauty, love, and purity about the nature of how they see the world through this eyes. Unfortunately, what happens is that as they start to recognize that there is essentially impurity in other people, they start to become disillusioned, or you start to become disillusioned with the idea that everything is not really as beautiful and as harmonic and as pure as you would naturally feel it would be, that everybody's essentially got the God consciousness within, which is the case, but you have to kind of like look past the ego in that sense. However, in this particular instance, we're looking at the nature of how there is beauty and harmony in the nature of every single human being, but then you come to this realization that there is essentially impurity. And so your sense of security linked with this beauty, this harmony, this wonderfulness starts to become corrupted because you recognize that that corruption in itself exists in other people. And so therefore you start to question and challenge the nature of their motives, and that they can become they can create and disturb your sense of security and your sense of protection, which then leads you into a position of not actually feeling that the world itself is inherently safe, and that every single person has this agenda in some way, and not in a Scorpio sort of like paranoid way, just more in the sense that inherently there are imperfections, and especially within other people. And this creates the confusion and the misalignment of the purity that exists. And so this can lead you into this void of godlessness, looking at the world through the eyes of recognizing that there is nothing pure in the world, that the home is impurified, and that there isn't anything that will be able to cleanse that in that way. And again, that timelessness starts to set in, and this inner void exists where you become the lost innocent child, never trusting in that sense because of the nature of things that are secure. So that's how it manifests. Now, what I would like to do is share with you in terms of how you can actually approach this situation. At the end of the day, you have to recognize that what you are feeling inwardly is the truth, and that's that everything is becoming purified as we go along our process. And your job is to recognize spiritual self-reliance and spiritual emotional resilience okay? To recognize that you are safe and that there is impurity in others, and yet you can purify them through nourishment of the body, nourishment of the home, nourishment of the soul. And so you can use those gifts, talents to be able to bring that to the surface, to actually cleanse the nature of the home and essentially the soul and the roots of where they are. In that sense, I've noticed a lot that the Neptune and the fourth house people also struggle with where they are in the home, that they struggle to find where my home is, because it creates this Neptunian experience again of where is everything, and everything is here and nothing is here, etc. And so the search for the home is essentially the case when it comes to Neptune and the fourth. Okay. All right, guys, fantastic. Well, I really hope that you enjoyed this video and that it gave you information that was able to give you a little bit more clarity into the nature of why you have Neptune in the fourth. This obviously links to your soul, okay, and its past lives and where it has been. Maybe it hasn't actually found a home yet and still struggling with this process, okay? So there are many different reasons as to why that would be the case. All right, guys. Well, like I said, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Please be sure to check out the other videos in the description below and your Pluto placement. If you're interested in having an actual spiritual astrology session with me, come over to my website, simonvorster.com. All the details there on the left. Check me out on Facebook. And also Wake Up World as well. I write for them in terms of monthly forecasts, okay? So yeah, guys, be sure to check out my website, like I said, and if you're interested in actually learning astrology itself, I do teach an online astrology school that's on my website as well. So if you're interested in actually doing this for yourself, which is ultimately the point in these videos that I create, is to self-empower. Okay. All right, guys, fantastic. Well, hit the like and subscribe button. Please share this, and until then, take care. Bye-bye.